First Premier League game of the day at Anfield. In a moment, more on Liverpool, who've had a fantastic week both on and off the pitch. But first, to another peculiar week in Cardiff, which culminated with this news conference.
Melky's in the pavilion as we speak now, yes.
What sort of mood is he in?
We're just here to, as I said, if we can, just talk about the Liverpool game.
Will you be in charge for that game at Liverpool?
Nobody said anything different to me, no.
And how has Malky coped with everything in the build-up to the game? Because you're aware of what's been going on.
Without being boring, it really has been a normal week for us.
Hand on heart, can you honestly say something like this wouldn't affect players when it goes up onto the pitch, when they go up onto the pitch?
I don't think it affected them.
And on a personal note, I mean, it's a horrible question, but how worried are you about your job? Because if managers go, they often take staff.
Every manager, every coach knows it's a precarious job, so nothing changes.
You're the man who's been put in the unfortunate position of coming down here to face us today, so, you know, very courageous of you and very kind of you to come, but it doesn't really work that you could sit here and say you want to talk about the Liverpool game. There's all these people here, know what's going on. The fans, more importantly, know what's going on and they want an explanation. What will you say to the fans?
As I said, unfortunately, I'm here to talk about Liverpool.
Well, that's not good enough.
That's all that it's going to be.
Have you seen the email?
As I said, I'll answer all questions about the Liverpool Cardiff game.
How do you think Cardiff Football Club seem to the wider world at the moment?
If you give me a question about the football match tomorrow, then I'll answer.
Well, we're very interested in the football. We've asked about the football game. We'd like to ask Melky about the football game, but he's not here. Could you explain why he's not here?
There's no more, we will end it there.
Can you explain what's going on then? Whether he's going to be in charge tomorrow? He's put him in an impossible position. We have a job to do and we need some answers. Can you help us with this?
Yes, Melky's unable to speak. The assistant manager is speaking.
Particularly why? Is he still in charge?
Melky's still, I've spoken to Melky this morning.
Seems to be a belief from the top of the club downwards that everything could be manipulated. Clearly it can't be when you've got the media here asking questions. We need to know why Melky's not here and what he said to you about the email.
Melky's unavailable and I've been asked to come and do the press about the Liverpool game tomorrow.
David Kerr's out at Cardiff City, assistant manager there. On an unrelated note, I'm afraid Jeff Sterling's unavailable to present the rest of the show tonight.
Where is he unavailable?
I'm afraid he's just... I've been
hold
told...
on a minute. Every Saturday we go through this Saturday routine.
I'm sorry, I've been told I've got to step in for him. That's all I know, he's unavailable.
Yeah, but we've got a job to do.
We need answers.
This will affect us.
I appreciate that, but I'm afraid Jeff...
There's no point in us talking the whole week and looking at stats and everything else when we normally have a chat about this conversation. What's the situation with Cardiff when Jeff's here? Are you telling me it's a normal week this guy's
I'm sorry, I can't tell you anything. I'm just here to talk about Cardiff Liverpool.
Is it going to be here on Boxing Day?
I can't say, I can only say I think he's in the building at the moment, that's all I can say.
How do you think the viewers are going to be seeing this?
I'm not sure. I'm just here to talk about Cardiff Liverpool.
Well, this is a guy who gets £5,000 bonuses at the end of the year sometimes.
By 3 o'clock.
This is certainly not good enough. We need answers. We need them from yourself.
This is going to make our job even harder.
I appreciate that. If you give me a question about Cardiff Liverpool, I can answer. Other than that, I'm sorry.
Well, we've got a job to do. We've come a long way for this.
Listen, I never thought Jeff was that good in the first place, but sometimes we do get decent conversation with him, and we need this to continue. You see what the answers are here.
To be fair, they're going to say Julian.
I appreciate your concerns. Jules is not available either, I'm afraid.
No.
No.
I'm quite relieved.
It's not good enough, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
It's not good enough, this guy.
I'm sorry, I'm just here to talk about Cardiff and Liverpool.
Can you not give a message to the viewers to tell them why Jeff's not here?
I'm afraid not, no. I'm just here to talk about Cardiff and Liverpool with you guys.
That's poor.
No.
We can't accept
that. Yeah, that's right. It's making our job more difficult.
It's just unacceptable. People, we need to go to the head management here and get this sorted. We're here to talk to Jeff. No one else, and we need answers. We want them now.
I'm sorry, I'm just here to talk about Cardiff Liverpool.
An absolute shambles.
Absolute shambles. What on earth is the world coming to? What should we do?
Should we go? We do every week, make them up.
I don't. Could have got someone smarter in.
I'm sorry, I'm all we can find at short notice, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
I just can't believe this is not a normal week for us. It certainly can't be. How's the thing been panning out this week for everybody else?
Will he be in charge for the 3 o'clock kick-off?
I'm not sure. As far as I know, this is how it's going to proceed. I'm not sure. That's all I've been told.
Not good enough.
Oh.
Ah.
Point made. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
Trishman?
You have to feel some sympathy for David Kerslake, don't you? You feel some sympathy for Christian Connor, by the way, as well, who was temporarily standing in, but we're just trying to illustrate the point of what a ridiculously impossible situation it was for all concerned at Cardiff City yesterday, including the unfortunate David Kerslake. It was an absolute shambles, wasn't it? One thing David Kerslake did say, by the way, during the course of that press conference was he said it's really been a normal week for us, which begs the question, what the heck is an abnormal week at Cardiff then, Matt?
Absolutely no idea. Incredible.
What's happened at Cardiff, in your view? Why have things that turned out so promisingly back in the Premier League for the first time since 1962 turned into shambles?
You can only look at it and say that the owner is showing a complete lack of understanding of the game of football. That's the only way that an outsider can see it at the moment. You know, he's come out and said through various people that wasn't happy with the amount of money that was spent in the summer. They went over budget. But if you're the owner of the football, you're in charge of the budget. You know, you give these people, you give them the money to spend. He could have said at some point when he saw what was going out, right, that's enough, stop now. I'm in charge, don't spend any more. But he's come out with this excuse a few months later, and it just seemed incredible that you've got a manager there who's taken the club back into the Premier League, who have been knocking on the door for so many years, and yet Malky was able to do it, and yet he's treated him like this when he gets there. It's bizarre.
He will argue, Merce, that he's put a lot of money into the club, approximately £70 million, and that he has the right to make whatever decisions he wants.
If you put 70 million, look where they are. They're in the Premier League, the best league in the world. It's not like they're in the Championship, Jeff, and they've spent 70 million. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, we know more. I played at Arsenal for a long time. Charlie was there as well. Mr. Hill would. He could sit next to you at dinner. You wouldn't know who he was. You wouldn't know who he was. And all of the day nowadays, we all know every chairman in the world. They become more busier and busier all the time. And this man, I mean, is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, what Cardiff are doing, or what Malky Mackay and the players are doing, has been absolutely unbelievable what they're doing. And he's going to throw that all out the window. You can't feel sorry. I can't feel sorry for him. If they get rid of him, I can't feel sorry for him.
Put £70 million in, Jeff. Okay, that's fine. Do you lose respect? Respect for the people who work for you. Respect for the tradition of your football club. Respect for the players, for the fans, for the hard-earned cash. To me, is wrong. He's a custodian of that club for the fans.
But do you think he understands that?
No, he doesn't understand that, Jeff. That's what I'm coming to. And he's lacking complete respect. And you see him, is he only thinking of himself? Now, they're in the Premier League. They're with the big boys. He's wanting this sort of everybody to look to him. You look at the pictures that we've seen when he was on the pitch for Manchester City. What's he doing on the pitch? Why has he come all the way down from the seat in the stands? He's walking around the pitch to get the acclaim. He's not done the turn. The manager's now feeling awful and bad because he's walking round.
And why does he tuck his shirt in his trousers?
Well, Jeff still does that.
Seriously. But do you feel it's a case, Charlie, of a big businessman treating Cardiff as a business? He runs his other businesses autonomously. Did he feel that maybe he could do the same thing with a football club?
Of course he does. Of course he does. And people can throw that. This is a